How's it, guys? This is Davey FPL and welcome back to another Deadline with Davey live stream. I do apologize for not posting the actual tweet for this live stream. It just kind of slipped my mind. I had it scheduled. Don't really know what happened. Maybe I scheduled it for the wrong time. But we're here. That's all that matters. The rank has not been updated yet, so let me just go and change that quickly. I just want to do a quick recap of how Gameweek 33's double went, because I didn't do any sort of finalization of in terms of how many points I got, that sort of thing, just because this week was so all over the place. So I'm just going to put here the overall rank, which was 33k. That should update very soon. Let me just change that here for you guys. So unfortunately, we had a slight red arrow. That was an expectation though, because we didn't use a chip in kind of the double, whereas most people kind of free it, that sort of thing. So let me go and just bring up the chat for you guys. And just let me know if the audio and the video look okay. I do apologize for wearing a hat. I just came out the shower, so my hair's all over the place. But let me know how your game week went. As you guys can see, 67 points. We did have a few saviors. I won't lie to you. Kiwiar came in clutch with 13 points. Eze also. Most people went for Munoz, not Eze. So his goal was going to come in quite clutch after missing a penalty the week before, which is kind of appreciated from his sake. Unfortunately, though, the biggest fail of the game week was going to be the Saka captaincy. I just can't buy a differential captain return at the moment. I've gone against Salah kind of 2 out of the last 3 weeks. That hasn't come in good that much. Saka had 1.5 XG, I think, involvement in the first game. He couldn't outperform Mamush, but it was only kind of a split by 2 points, I guess. But if Saka did anything, we would have been looking at a lot bigger of a green arrow. So a little bit unfortunate, but I guess it is what it is. I mean, yeah, I would have really enjoyed if Saka managed to get at least an assist or a goal that would have taken us up, because that was just straight differential points. But I guess it is what it is at the end of the day. Thank you for people joining the chat early. We do have Tracy and Vernon saying, how's it? We also have Vincent. Unfortunately, Vincent, no chocolate milk. I was running around this morning. I played 2 paddle games. That's pretty much the reason why I did not have time to go to the shops. But we've got the water. But I guess the chocolate milk didn't come in clutch last week anyways. April Rahit saying, hope you're Gucci. I'm doing okay. And yourself? On a free at 3 decisions. Double Newcastle defense or attack. Wood or Raul. Trent or Fulham defense. I'm at 49k and don't want to lose too much rank. Okay, so if you don't want to lose rank, I don't think you should think about losing too much rank this week. I think what you should just do is focus on getting the players that you think could do well. For me, double Newcastle defense or attack, that's so 50-50. What I'd probably say is whatever I end the game week with or the deadline with, go with that. Wood or Raul Jimenez, I would go for Raul Jimenez. And Trent or the Fulham defense, that's something I've been debating this morning. So don't worry, Rohits, I've got the same debates. I can't promise that we'll get them right, but we will definitely be talking about them. How's it, G-Rid, Sadesh, Miracle? Yes, I do think the top 10k is done. I said this after these double game weeks. If we're not sitting slightly higher or a lot higher, then I think the top 10k dream is done. Stranger things have happened, but I mean, I'm just hoping to finish as high as I can at this point. Guna1 saying, finally can join your live stream. Nice to have you in the stream. Sadat's also saying, let's go. And then also we have, so just let me know if I assume the audio and the video are looking okay and sounding okay. Otherwise I can adjust settings if need be. What's up, Hector? How you doing? You said, got a quick question. If I can field 8 players with a -4, should I hold my wild card? Still have my bench boost as well. Currently have Salah, Burn, Barnes, Norrie, Isaac, and Sells. Okay, so you've got the majority of the players. 8 players is a bit tough, because now you're saying in -8 with a -4 included. So you're missing 3 players. Let's just say that's 6 points, because you'll get 2 whatever. Then with a -4, that's 10 points. So you are already down 10 points on the free hitters, and then they could be kind of going for better options. Although it's not a free hit, it's a wild card, so I get what you're saying. It's tough. I haven't even looked at the wildcard this week. I won't lie to you, Hector. So what I would probably do is look at the team that you would wildcard next week and look at the team that you would wildcard this week. And if there's massive differences between them, then you can always just stick with it. But then you have to work out if it's 10 points gained or 10 points lost. But if it's similar sort of players, I would probably just say wildcard this week then. As Sid saying, I'm laying blocks outside, got you in the headphones. Okay, cool. So as usual, on our streams, there's not much video content, but if there is, I will make sure to run through it, give you the kind of voiceover, Sid. But yeah, I think that's probably the best way to listen to the streams, is just to do something else and then just listen along. Are we overlooking Diego Jota over Diaz, Saint? I guess we could. The only reason why Diaz for me is more popular is because he can play two positions. He's quite versatile, so he can play left wing or he can play striker. Jota for me, although he could play both, I think he's less inclined to. I think he's more inclined to start up front, which could actually be a bonus because if he starts, you're going to be getting that striker position. But if he doesn't, then he could always come off the bench. So that's why I think Diaz is slightly more popular, just because he's a bit more versatile. But literally, besides Salah, it's a coin flip between any of the Liverpool attackers. Any of them could score if they start. They all could score. Who kind of knows? I only think Diaz is slightly more popular because he could play two positions. So Dart saying, audio in the video, perfect. Thank you, do appreciate it. Sounds good, looks good. Any Gucci? Vincent, no Gucci on, no drip. I've just got a normal shirt on. How's that FPL Victoria's Secret? Also have a question. So badly when I take the Jota punt, a Liverpool fan, do you think he starts? Okay, so we can go over some projected lineups as well. I guess that's what this week comes down to. Also, what we'll go over as usual is we'll go over the usual kind of projected goals, projected clean sheets. I just want to go over to the projected lineups because these are usually pretty good. Let me just see what this Liverpool lineup says. Okay, so what we can just go over quickly is we can go over... Okay, so there's two projected lineups I'm seeing here, but both are pretty different. Both have Diaz starting. One is Trent starting, one is Bradley starting. Let me just see if I can get down to this Liverpool projected lineup. Okay, cool. I'm just going to open this graphic as well. We might have to just adjust the screen. Okay, so this is from Jump the Wave. You can go follow her on Twitter. So you guys don't have to see the right-hand side. It's more the left-hand side that's important. So let's just adjust this and we can just cut this left a bit. Okay, cool. So here we go. So once again, this is from Jump the Wave. Basically what she does is she has a email list of like fans of the club, and then they all do their predictions, and then she kind of groups them together and shows you the predicted start metrics. So very useful. There's a bunch of teams. If you guys want any other team, just ask me and I'll try and find it. So you can see there's a couple of more popular selections. So at the moment, it looks like Luis Diaz is in most people's projected lineups, 96%. And then we have the split between Jota and Gakpo. So you can see that Jota's there at 41%, Gakpo is 63%. We also have Trent at 63%. So majority are saying if he's fit, he's going to start. Whereas Bradley's only at 41%. But so it seems like I've got the same thinking. I think Diaz is a bit more versatile. So if you guys do want to go for him, he looks slightly more nailed. But at the end of the day, anything can happen. As a Liverpool fan, I'm just kind of targeting Liverpool because I think it's going to be a good result. So yeah, I think we can move on from our... Actually, I also want to ask, any good bench boosts last week? Did anyone get a really good bench boost? Because I was not super happy with... I wasn't super happy with getting 14 points in Gameweek 32. But now that I look at the points in Gameweek 33, I think I might have got away with one there. Where's your team? Okay, don't be shocked, but my team is... I haven't even activated the free it. My team is what you see on screen. So I'm literally gonna be building my free draft with you guys, or my free team with you guys. We're gonna start from scratch. Headley said he got 92 points total. That's pretty decent. And Victoria Sig is getting 10 points. I only got 7 on my bench boost. Yeah, so not the best bench boost week. But yeah, as you guys can see, I have not even started with my Friet. So we can go over this and we can build the team total. T-Bone, you get 22 points on the bench boost. That's pretty decent. Did you have someone like an Mbumo? Okay, so you guys can see this. I'm going to scroll it a bit down so we go there. Okay, cool. So we're going to be building. Okay, maybe let's do this rather. Let's rather do this. Let's go over the projected goals, because this is going to be, we'll build our free draft off this. Okay, cool. So nice there at the top, Rob TFPL. Always shout out to him. Go follow him over on Twitter. I'd probably say he's probably my #1 Twitter account this season. I think that he's done a splendid job with these graphics. So there's been some changes. What you guys can notice is that we do have Wolves risen to 40%. So they are looking as the 3rd best defense if you guys do want to go there. Otherwise, let me just check if this is the most up-to-date one. Okay, this is the most up-to-date one. Okay, cool. So Wolves actually were tied with Chelsea, but now I see Chelsea have taken the edge slightly. So we do have Chelsea on 42%. The #1 team is Newcastle, 50%, but they're also now the highest goal scorers on 3.0. So if you guys do want to go for someone like an Isaac captain, if you think he's going to get a good amount of goal share, that could be pretty good. Actually, they're 3.1. I did make a mistake there. So they are 0.15 higher than Liverpool are at the moment. So could Isaac actually be the best captain this week? Who kind of knows? I think I'll probably stick on Salah, but healthy projections there, 2.95. So Newcastle top goal scorers, also top defense, which makes this mighty tough to kind of double up on the defense or double up on the attack. Because that's my only concern in that regard. Otherwise, good projections for Chelsea, 42%, and good projections for Wolves at 40%. And then obviously Liverpool also on 38% if you guys do want to go for Trent. But Trent is quite tough. I can see a world where Trent starts, definitely. I can see a world where Bradley starts. So I don't know if it's worth the risk on a Fred if you guys do want to go there. But also some other good projections. Fulham, not as high as I would have liked them, 1.95. I still like Raul Jimenez, but it's not like kind of a great fixture. Brighton on the same as Bournemouth. And that's why Welbeck's pretty popular. And also someone's asking about Matoma. Definitely would prefer Welbeck if you can get there, because I think he's on penalties. Gordon, the Fred as a differential. I don't know about Gordon. I think that he's comes off the bench. So I think if you want to go differential, just go for Harvey Barnes. Chance it on Trent. I don't know about Trent. Yeah, it's tough. On the Welbeck train for the Fred. What's all these questions about Danny Welbeck? I know initially Danny Welbeck looked good, but now that we've got confirmation that Muniz is injured, I feel like Raul Jimenez overtakes him slightly. But I don't know. I mean, Danny Welbeck's also an option. Start Diaz or Bowen. I probably would go for Diaz. You can just check from the projections here. 1.13 for West Ham and 2.95 for Liverpool. To me, it's start Diaz. Only slight concern there's, I guess, that Bowen's on penalties. So he has that extra boost. Cunha and Larson double up viable. It is double. It is viable. The double up is viable, sorry. I don't know. I don't know if I would say it's differential. If you find with it being differential, then do it. But yeah, I sometimes prefer spreading the risk a little bit. So maybe getting another team striker with a good fixture as well, like Raul Jimenez. But definitely the double up could come in clutch. I don't think Leicester are the best defense, so it could be pretty good. Yeah, I guess that is true, Harry. Welbeck is on a bit better form than Raul Jimenez is. What's the overall rank up to now? You can see it just... Okay, wait, let me do this finger rather. Just up there, 63k. So we dropped after not using a chip. Cunha will start all the rumors, and also he is back, but there was a quote from the Wolves manager, I think maybe in the embargoed section, where it said he's still a Wolves player. He's going to play for the last few games, so I'm more confident there. Okay, cool. So I think we've gone over these projections. I think let's go and build the team. Rohan, so that's the only problem is as a Liverpool fan, obviously going to be watching the game tomorrow, super amped. And that's why I want a Luis Diaz in my team, because I want to be cheering on the players that are on the pitch. And that's why Trent could be enticing to me. I just don't know. Yeah, Milos, I've seen a lot of fans don't want him in the squad or playing, but I don't know. I guess every Premier League team wants to win. They want to get as many positions up as they can. I think they could get more money for that. So if Cunha's good to go, I think that he will probably play. But I do agree, it's a bit of a tough spot to be in with him like leaving the club in the transfer window. Between Larson and Evan Nielsen, who to pick? It's tough. I would say you play the fixture and go for the Wolves man, but United aren't doing that great. Poll for captaincy. Okay, we can do a poll for captaincy if you guys want to. I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty one-sided. I think Salah is like the majority this week. Okay, who are the captaincy options this week? Isaac, Newcastle, Cunha, but I don't think you captain Cunha if you're worried that he's benched. So just give me some captaincy options that you guys think are popular. Obviously Salah's there, Isaac's there, but who's the other popular captaincy options? I don't know. Jacob Murphy, James, I mean he's the most reliable probably for minutes, so I'd say that's okay. Are we overlooking Kluivert? Yeah, so I've got Kluivert in my current draft, right? I'll go over it shortly. Palmer. Okay, Palmer might be a captain, but I can't see anyone captaining Palmer really with his current form. So for me, it's like Salah or guess Isaac. Maybe it's just between those two. I've got Cunha here in case there's some of you that want to go Maverick, but I don't see. Thoughts on the double Wolves defense in Sa and Ait-Nori. So the only reason I haven't gone for Sa anymore is just I don't know if I can trust that Wolves defense. And I was actually impressed with Leicester a little bit when they played Liverpool last week. Okay, so literally it seems like there's no other captaincy options. Everyone is not saying anyone, so I assume it's just Salah. Is it worth a -8 for a full starting 11? I have Sanchez, Norrie, Livramento, Neco Williams. Okay, so you've got the majority of players. The -8 Mohammed. This is literally my favorite thing about the free hit is the hits aren't what the hits are. And a -4 is actually a -2. Because wait for it, let's just do this math quick. So the player you're taking out blanks, so that's 0 points. The player you bring in, theoretically, they should get 60 minutes, which is 2 points. You have to think about this, though, if it's a defender and they concede that sort of thing, but let's just say theoretically it's 2 points. So therefore your -4 is only actually a -2. So that's why hits on a blank game week are actually okay. The only thing though is don't hit out players you want for the rest of the season. Then it's a bit negative to do that. So if you want the player anyway for the long run, then doing the -4 is actually not that bad this week. Okay, I'm just going to say other then because there's not another option. So you guys can vote on the poll, but I think it's going to be Salah all the way. Maybe there's going to be a few Isaacs. Okay, let's go on and actually build the team now. Let me just adjust these borders quickly. Also, guys, if there's anything over on Twitter, just let me know. I don't want to miss anything. I don't think we're going to be getting too much early team sheet news. I think it's going to be pretty predictable on what we actually go for. The only thing I guess is because the first kickoff is Chelsea. So do you think there's a chance that Palmer gets benched? I don't know. Maybe. Okay, so let's actually build this team now from the ground up. So as a reminder, I've not activated the free hit. This is just a little bit of a plug. Make sure your free hit is activated, guys. Please make sure your free hit is active if you want to use it. I don't want there to be any tears. I don't want there to be any tears if you guys don't activate the free hit. Okay, so let's go over the nailed players. In my opinion, I think my front line is pretty nailed. I think going for Raul Jimenez is just too good. I think going for Cunha, I mean, it's literally just newly promoted players. If I zoom in here, can you guys still see the team? Okay, maybe I should just do this. Then you guys can see it a bit. You guys can see this a bit clearer. Okay, cool. Now you guys can see the team a bit more. I think I probably could zoom it again. But then I think it gets a bit bad. Okay. Let's zoom it again and see if this helps you guys see a bit. Okay, so I mean it's okay. It doesn't look too bad. So we'll just leave the timer there because we'll adjust it, but you guys should hopefully see. Okay, cool. So we're gonna take out Saka, we're gonna take out Eze. We'll keep Jacob Murphy for now because I mean he has a bit of team value, I guess, if we want to keep him. So we're not going to take, I don't think we're going to take Dan Burn. Unfortunately, Guardiola's out. Okay, so let's go over the rest of our midfield department. At the moment, I think Palmer's pretty locked in my team. And then I also think Luis Diaz is looking okay. I'm going to just put Kluivert here because I did have him initially. I guess it's between Kluivert and a Newcastle midfielder. So defensively, I think Ait Norrie's nailed. I think Trippier probably. I want to put Cucurella, but I mean, there might be. I don't know if I'll go from exactly. And then let's just put Trent in for the time being because we might just have him on the bench anyways. Okay, so then the last defender. Who would we have here? Was this what I was... Was this the team that I was thinking about? I guess we could have Sessegnon as well. It's just deciding who to play out of them. Okay, and then in terms of our goalkeepers, I can't put Pope because I've got... Okay, so let's just do this. So I guess the biggest change from my initial team was going to be Iwobi out. So I no longer have Iwobi. That's probably, is Iwobi a bad shot? He's not Sammy. I just think that like when I looked at like points projections, I don't know if I could recommend like someone over an Iwobi if I'm comparing him to like a Kluivert. Kluivert's on penalties, that sort of thing. Has more avenues for points. It's still an okay fixture for Bournemouth. So that's when I like was nailing it down. It was just kind of becoming a bit clearer to me that maybe I don't go for Iwobi. So that was just my thinking. Why does everyone have Palmer? I think it's the same thing as what we've just been talking about. It's just avenues for points. Palmer's on set pieces. Palmer's on penalties. Everton without Tarkowski, remember you got a hamstring injury. I think they're going to be more vulnerable than they have been. Chelsea also are in the mix for European competition places, so they're one of the only teams with actually something to play for. So I kind of think it's an okay selection. It's just once again going down to the fact that he's just involved in everything for Chelsea, and that's what I was hoping that he's involved. I'm trying to think about what the team did look like before. But I want Wood/Mbumo for the last game. Yeah, so I've seen there've been some talks about that potentially. So if you guys don't know, as you can hopefully see at the bottom here, Nottingham Forest and Brentford play the last game, and I think it's on Thursday. Yeah, it's on Thursday. So what you're doing is you're prolonging your game week because... Let's just say with me, I've got no Nottingham Forest, I've got no Brentford. I'm basically saying my game week is over after Sunday, whereas other people can say, like, at least I've got the hope of Mbumo or Chris Wood doing something, I guess. But yeah, like, I think I'm going to avoid this fixture, this one here. I just think it just doesn't excite me. Like, that's the best way to put it. It's just, I don't see... there being that many goals in it. So that's why I think I might just avoid it. On a free hit, I think there's other fixtures with high potential. Sessegnon or Robinson, I think if you're going to go for either of them, I would go for Sessegnon, take the punt. If he starts at the wing position and he plays more than 60 minutes, that is worth more than Robinson in my opinion, and I think he will start. It is a risk, but I think it's an okay risk. You've just bought my template free at 3-team. Who are the differentials to boost? I mean, there are differentials. So instead of going for Murphy, you go for Barnes. I think Cunha's highly owned, so you don't go for Cunha, maybe go for Strand Larsen instead. Like, there's not that many. I think instead of maybe Palmer, you go for someone else. Maybe that could be a good selection. There are differentials, but I think the Fiat might be differential enough. I don't think all of these players will be on non-Frieders teams unless they're kind of taking hits and bringing them in. Okay, yeah. So the only thing with me that I'm deciding between is Murphy or kind of doubling up in the defense. Because I think what might look slightly better is, okay, wait, let's just take Clivert out, for example. How much is Mbumo? Okay, you know, he's too expensive. So let's go for a cheaper option. Who's a cheaper option that is still okay? We just go for Semenyo for old time's sake. So instead of going for Sanchez, I go for Pope here. And then we've got a double up for Newcastle. Look, I get Ipswich is probably the only one of the relegation teams that they might be slightly better than a Newcastle Southampton. But I do feel like you want to kind of fulfill that third Newcastle slot. So what it comes down to for me is basically Murphy slash Barnes or Pope. And then I guess it's like who's in your midfield department, because then it'll be Clivert. And yeah, I guess it's debatable who's there. Raul Jimenez has 0.1 goal involvement since game week 30. I don't trust him. Yeah, I guess we could look at some stats. I just kind of feel like, I mean, it's Southampton. They're gonna concede. Okay, let me check projections for forwards this week. Okay, so Raul Jimenez is slightly higher than Danny Welbeck, but let's go see some stats if we can. Okay, I'm just loading up the stats. I think what I might just do is like make these transfers. Who am I losing out on? I'm losing out on Jacob Murphy, but he's so cheap that it's affordable. So if I make these transfers out, who would I want to keep here? I might just want to keep Jacob Murphy. That's probably the only player I want to keep. Dan Burn, I mean, I don't think I'll go for Dan Burn. So let's confirm. And then let me just make... Okay, well, I mean, this team is... Okay, the team is set up exactly the way I would have had it. Just Salah captain. So, I mean, that's just how... That's just a sign. I mean, the team literally saved the exact way I would have played it. Maybe that's just a sign that this is the perfect Freer team. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a bit superstitious. Why not diversify one? Yeah, I could. I mean, I just chose them as bench options. I'll swap one out if need be. Bowen or Mbumo? I don't know. I'd probably say Mbumo. But I like Bowen's fixture more. Post to Discord. I mean, we still have 25 minutes, don't we? Okay, let's go. So it was forwards. And it was comparing Fulham and Brighton. Danny Welbeck versus Raul Jimenez. And then what was it? Kind of game week. Let's do game week 24, maybe. Okay, it's still loading. Is this the final team saved? I could, I guess, make some changes to it. Thanks for that, Vincent. I appreciate the post. Okay, I don't see anything in terms of early team sheet news. Okay, in terms of the stats, okay, I can see Danny Welbeck. Danny Welbeck has better XG, expected numbers. Yeah, so Welbeck could be an alternative if you guys do want to go there. Ty the Footy Guy has become a member for 38 months, 3.5 years, if my maths is correct. No, very wrong. 3 years and 2 months. Do apologize for that one. Any transfers made? SH, I made a ton of transfers. I made 12 in total. Actually, more than that. Probably 15 in total with the Friet. We do still have 23 minutes though. Okay, we got enough time here. So, yeah, in terms of the numbers here, Danny Welbeck is looking better than Raul Jimenez. So yeah, you guys can go for as an alternative if you want to. But I guess is West Ham a better fixture than Southampton, which I don't know. Let's actually go and check that. In the last 10 weeks, what is the XG conceded? Okay, Southampton are not great. And West Ham haven't been terrible. But I mean, yeah. I think I slightly prefer Raul Jimenez. Leno better clean sheet odds than Pope, surely. So in terms of the odds, no. In terms of the odds, Newcastle have the highest this week. So if we just go back to this one, don't know if you guys can see this, but yeah. So Newcastle at the top, they're 50%. So I guess now it's, are there any changes to the team? I just noticed that all of these players have home fixtures besides Raul Jimenez at Southampton, which could be a reason to go for Danny Welbeck with the home fixture. Thanks again, Ty the Footy Guy. How come you're not starting Trent? I don't know. I don't know if he starts this one. That's the only problem. And so what you guys almost have to do is just ignore the bench, because the bench does look good, but it's just the starting 11 that you guys have to focus on. The bench is stacked because we had money. Can you pick 3 players from Trippier, Arnold, Sessegnon, and Aït-Nouri? Okay, so out of those 3, I would say Trippier and Aït-Nouri are locks, and then it's between Alexander-Arnold and Sessegnon. Now, both players might not start. Sorry, my legs just started cramping. I just have to release it. Both players might not start, but I don't know. Sorry for that one. My legs was just cramping. Both players might not start, but I kind of feel like, I mean, that's a tough one. I think I might just take the punt on Sessegnon. He's differential. Semenya or Iwobi? Mohammed, I'd go for Iwobi. I'm not a big Sessegnon fan. I won't lie to you. I'm not a good Semenya fan. He's not been good to me in my FPL team. Why not Isaac captain? I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm a Liverpool fan, but I think I'm pretty set on Salah captain this week. Murphy over Clivewood for me, I guess. So I guess, okay, so 69% of you are going for Salah captain. Let's end this poll. Okay, so my kind of final decision is, you guys can vote on this one. So what's my final decision? It's basically Murphy Murphy slash Barnes. Out of those two, I don't know who I would go for. Plus Kluivert. No, not Kluivert. Who would our is it our goalkeeper then? So who would our goalkeeper be if we don't go for maybe Leno? Let's just say Leno. Let me just check for the goalkeepers. Yeah, I'd say probably Leno. I guess it could be Sanchez, but let's just go for Leno. Or Kluivert plus Pope. Okay, you guys can vote on that one. I don't know, for me it's like, I think there's potential in that second option. I think Kluivert Pope has potential. Okay, wait, Darwin Núñez just posted. No wonder I didn't play more, because the last game I started in the Premier League went well, and suddenly. Okay, thanks for the tag, Vincent. I don't know what that means. I am playing Cucurella over Trent. I know, slamming. It looks pretty interesting. Jose Sa. I guess I could go for Sa. It's basically any other. It's like any other goalkeeper. It could be Sa. It could be whoever. Reckon it's worth taking a punt on Johnson against the young defense. Johnson. The Ipswich player. Or Brennan Johnson. Sorry, I'm a bit stumped by the question, James. Sorry. Would you go for Wood this week or another striker? Have Isaac? I mean, I'm taking a punt against Wood, but I'm like also the biggest Chris Wood hater this season. So, Jota over Diaz for differential. It could be. I just don't know if he's going to start, because it could be Luis Diaz up front and Gakpo on the left. I have funds for the exact same team, but I'm Mbeumo instead of Kluivert. No, Gary. Like, I also have the funds if I downgrade my bench. Yeah, I'm not going for Mbeumo. Cucurella and Leno, or Sessegnon and Sanchez. If you think Sessegnon starts and you're confident, I'd probably go for Sessegnon and Sanchez. Surely Trent starts in the league-winning game, right? He should. I just don't, because remember, he has come back from that injury, so we don't exactly know if he's like back to full fitness, I guess, or back to starting fitness. He should be though. Thoughts on Strand Larson? I'm thinking about getting both him and Cunha. It's fine. It's a differential punt. I'd probably say that's one of the things that could be differential if you guys do want to go there. What I'd also say though is if you want to be differential, just drop Cunha, go for Strand Larson, because I think Cunha's ownership is pretty high. Wolves will lose their clean sheet. Feels like Leicester will put up a performance. Yeah, I also think Sadesha could happen, but I feel like with Aït-Nouri's attacking threat, that's offset by that. Why Murphy over Barnes minutes? If you do choose Murphy, it's purely for minutes, but I feel like Barnes might be slightly better if both play. So the thing with the Newcastle midfielders, and this is why people are stressing about them, is I think Murphy, Barnes start the game, so you don't have to worry about the starting place. But Gordon on the bench is not going to sit on the bench for the whole game. So who does Gordon come on for? Is it going to be Barnes in the natural position, which is right wing? No, left wing. Or is it going to be for Murphy like what happened in Gameweek 33, and then Murphy gets subbed earlier? So it's like, who is going to be subbed out of the two of them? And that's what people are kind of debating, is who gets the most minutes out of Murphy and Barnes. And I don't know, it could be anyone. Why is Trent on the bench? So I think I might just eliminate the bench, because I think a lot of people are asking. But yeah. The reason Trent's benched is because I prefer my other players over him currently. Isn't it best to have a safe start on the bench than maybe someone from the first? Yeah, I guess, Minos, but I still feel like I want Trent somewhere in the team, I guess. So it makes myself feel a bit better. But yeah, I can put Sessegnon in instead of Trent, but I'm pretty sure most of the starting 11 should feature. Gavin, yeah, we can check that out. I don't know, when do... Okay, Newcastle do play today, but only at 4. I haven't seen that. I kind of feel like you can't bench Barnes in the current form. Yeah, I don't know what this Darwin Nunez tweet means, to be honest. It's a bit weird, but I guess we can assume that he's not starting game week 31. I mean game week 34. I think his season is over and won't play even that, Joe. I don't think he's going to play, Olaf. I would take out Diaz, bring in Elanga or Mbumo. Okay. I can understand Mbumo maybe, but I don't know about Elanga. So Mbumo's, the thing with Mbumo is the same like Cole Palmer, Clivert, is that these guys are like talisman. They're on penalties, on set pieces, that sort of thing. Did Jota actually repost it or not? Who would your best assistant manager this week be? I'd probably go for Eddie Howe. Have you activated? Yes, I have. So this team currently is the team that I'm looking to go with. The only change I would probably do is I think that I would swap my bench slightly. So let's just swap the bench. I mean, actually, let's see if I can get a better replacement for Semenyo. Who can I afford Bowen? Let's just go for Bowen then. How much is Bowen? No, Bowen's expensive. Okay, well, I guess we just go for Semenyo. I just don't know if I want Semenyo on the bench. How much is Saw? Okay, so maybe what we do is we drop Leno, go for Saw. Can I now afford Bowen? No, he's more expensive. Let's go for Matoma then, maybe. Okay, and then I think that would probably be the order. Yeah, so this is the team at the current moment. I don't know. Let's look at the poll, what you guys said. I think you're going against what I'm doing. Okay, so 63% of you say Murphy / Barnes plus Leno instead of Clivert and Pope. I have a reputation of going against what chat says though, so like I might do it again. Start Clivert or Bowen. Michael, I'd probably do Clivert. I trust Bournemouth a little bit more, but Bowen's also good. Like, there's so many 50-50 calls this week is crazy. If Darwin Núñez starts in any other game, yeah, I've seen that, Mr. Radu. Jackson instead of Raul? No, I don't think I'd go there. Try Barnes, be different, says Shamil. We can downgrade Trent for Bowen. We can, I guess. We can downgrade Trent if we do want Bowen. I guess we could downgrade Trent and afford Mbumo, potentially. Let's see if I can do that. So if we go Matoma and then we go Mbumo, we need to lose 0.7 on Trent, which is Virgil 6.6. Konate. Just go with Konate, I guess. Alright, we can do that. But then what I would probably do is I'd swap these two. So that'd be the team. Can't afford by 0.5. Any ideas? Cameron, if you can't afford this, just go for a cheap bench. Downgrade Mbumo, go for a Semenyo, downgrade Konate, go for a cheaper option. Your bench doesn't matter. The only thing I'm doing now is I'm just upgrading because I have the funds. The starting 11's what's important though. A Matoma or any Wolves midfielder. I'd probably just go Matoma. I don't know if I trust any of the minutes for them. Okay, so I think I'm going to post this team to the Discord. I think I'm looking pretty locked in here, I won't lie. Q, Harvey, Barnes, and Murphy absolutely banging it. Isaac isn't differential this week. No, he's not. But I guess if you captain him, he could be differential. The only problem is then that you have to hope that Salah blanks when he's playing for the league. All I can say though is this week, the goals against our defense are going to be rough. Like if Ipswich score against double Newcastle defense, oof, that's going to be interesting. What's the idea behind such an expensive bench? I can afford it, Turang. It's like, it's just, if you have the funds, you do it, because if need be and someone misses out, then I want a good bench option to come off the bench. So you should make the starting 11 you want and then upgrade your bench as far as possible. Why didn't you take Reece James instead of Kukureya? Isn't Reece James currently injured? I know there were some injury concerns with him potentially. And also, even if he's not injured, he might get. I've put my 4 players not playing in my starting 11, and I've benched for so I can so nicely on the bench. So Francho, what you should do is if you have like a Semenyo this week, put him on the bench, because every time he's scored, he's been on my bench. Is Bruno potential differential? He is. I just don't know if I trust United that much. That's my only concern with them. Diaz or Kluivert, and start Kluivert as Diaz over Wood. Yeah, I probably would start them over Wood. Barnes captain is this the final team? Christian, yeah, I posted the team. Let me know if you haven't seen it. Yeah, I did post the team on Discord. Got 1.2 in the bank. If you have 1.2 in the bank, then yeah, just upgrade your bench to someone else, like a Van Dijk instead of Konate maybe. Why Kluivert over Mbumo? I just prefer the fixture. I think they'll up scores today, so gone Leno and Barnes, but not Sean Barnes' minutes. Chris, yeah, I think that's probably the more differential approach if I have to kind of like go with both of them. The only thing I will say though is I do feel like Southampton at home could potentially score against Fulham, and that's why I wasn't super keen on like a Leno, that sort of thing. No, Murphy and Barnes is scary. It is, Tarang, but like there will always be a player that I don't have that I would want. But the only player that I'm also like maybe thinking was Alexander-Arnold. Because he has a super high ceiling, I feel. Okay, cool. But I think the team, everything looks okay though. Salah captain. The bench order, I think, is okay. Please, once again, reminder, make sure that your teams are saved and your free hit is active. As you guys can see, free hit is active so that we don't have any mistakes. And what we can do for the last sort of 5 minutes is we can do like a quick fire round. So you guys can post your questions and I'll try and answer them to the best of my abilities. And we'll do like a quick fire session for the last 4 minutes. Okay, Barnes captain will be insane if he clicks yes, but I think it is risky, but if you understand the risk, then 100%. Thoughts on Evan Nielsen over Raul Jimenez? Maybe, but if Kluivert's on the pitch, then he takes penalties, so I prefer Raul Jimenez. No worries, Christian. You had me worried for a second there, brother. Semenyo or Mbumo? Mbumo, I think, over Semenyo. Cunha captains make up points. Slamming, people are worried about him even starting, so I don't think I would risk it. Diaz or Kluivert? I think Diaz this week. Who would you replace Palmer with if he's been dropped, David? I probably would switch this around and I would go for Barnes in my midfield department. If that was to take place, I think I would go for Barnes in the midfield rather. Going with Bruno over Palmer this week, but big differential. Yeah, I agree. Chelsea haven't been great, but it's a punt, I guess. Is Stupinan Cowell or Collins? I'd probably go Stupinan. Which two other captains would go for instead of Salah? I'd go Isaac, Gid. How much in the bank? I think I had like... I've got 1.2 in the bank, I think. Yeah, 1.2 in the bank. So I can actually upgrade. I can upgrade Konate if need be, but I don't really have the need, I guess. Who will go to the FA Cup final? I think City and Aston Villa. Rank from favourites to least who wins the FA Cup. Okay, Man City, Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace. Kirkes for Sessegnon on my bench. Okay, cool. That's fine. It won't be the real punt this week. I think it's a fine punt. That's my opinion. I just feel like there's other players that might be a bit more safe than he is. I'm going for the Isaac captain. Salah form has been bad. Yeah, I do agree, but Anfield's just is different. Bench order of Kluivert, Sessegnon, and Trent. I'd probably put Trent before Sessegnon, Chris. I'm just putting Sessegnon because I prefer him over Konate. Welbeck or Evan Nielsen? I'd go for Danny Welbeck. Why Raul over Wood? I'm playing the fixture here, and I don't like Chris Wood, Richard. Diaz captain over Salah? You could, but I feel like if you're going to go against Salah, I would go for Isaac, because what you're basically saying, Joe, is that you think that Liverpool do well, but that Diaz outperforms Salah, which to me is more risky than just saying Isaac scores more goals than Salah does. You kind of get my logic there. Thanks, Mohammed. Good luck to you too, brother. Hopefully it's good. 1 minute, 40 seconds. Let's check any early team sheet news. I don't see anything. I don't see any early team sheet news. So we're going to just go over questions then for the rest. Why Cucurella? I just feel like Chelsea have a good chance of a clean sheet, and Cucurella's attacking good isn't that bad. Salah took his contract, now he's just a cool, relaxed. He's signed the contract, so now he's going to score a Hattie and do the contract signing celebration. Would you start Matoma or Evan Nielsen? Evan Nielsen. In your team, if not Palmer, who would you pick? So I would change the structure. I'd go for Harvey Barnes, I think, instead of Palmer. And then I would go for someone like a Leno or a Sarr over Pope. Or I could go for Sanchez as well. But that's what I would do. I'd switch it around. I don't really like any other midfielders besides the Newcastle assets for Palmer. Differential captain Isaac. I know he's not differential in terms of ownership, but his effective ownership will be differential. Welbeck or Raul Jimenez? Michael, I've gone for Raul Jimenez, so I prefer him. But we've spoken about this. Welbeck has the better stats, but I feel like Raul Jimenez might have the better fixture. 20 seconds to go. As I've said, just please make sure that your free hit is active if you guys do want to use it, and that everything is secure in your team, your captain, all that good stuff. Kluivert for Barnes, maybe. Yeah, you could do that. But with 2 seconds to go, it is unfortunately TUPD time. So Darth, you beat me to it. Congrats. But time is unfortunately up. Pens down. If you know, you know. But that is going to be our Freet team. I know there was a bit of 50-50s in terms of this week. There always is. Any Freet week is a 50-50 week. Let's just hope that we're on the right ends of the 50-50. And if we're not, you guys in chat, you guys voted for Barnes/Leno. You can come back and say that you were right and I was wrong. I don't think there's going to be too many swings, let's hope, this week. But, I mean, there could be. Omar, exactly. You put the words in my mouth. I don't know if you guys are also Elder Scrolls fans, but yeah, Oblivion Remastered time now. That is going to be for the rest of the weekend, along with the football. So if you're a Liverpool fan, good luck for Sunday. I'm going to be very nervous, but we should get the point. If you're not a Liverpool fan, enjoy, hopefully, us winning the Premier League. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, thanks for joining the deadline stream, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Don't do anything I wouldn't do in terms of FPL only. And I will see you guys for Game Week 35. It's going to be a pretty sort of boring end to the season as all the chips have been used, but hopefully it's going to be a nice one. May the green arrows be in your favor, but for the time being, I'm signing off with Navy FPL and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.